Hello, everyone. I'm Sharon Chen, anchor with KCTV5 News. Welcome into another episode of Destination Heartland. Now, remember, this is a new program that we've launched here at KCTV5. Every week, we're kind of taking a virtual trip to some of the coolest places around here in the Heartland, just a few hours or less away from Kansas City. So today, we are headed north, just a quick jaunt to Atchison, Kansas, which is about an hour outside of KC. So joining me now is Jill Thorne. She's the executive director for Locally Atchison. Hi, Jill. How are you today?
Hello. I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. So I had the great opportunity yesterday to go to Atchison for a story, which is, we're not going to talk about that aspect of it, but let's just say when we pulled into town, I was so pleasantly surprised. Just the beauty of the town, but also the list of things to do there is like yay long. There's so much to do. So let's dive in first. The one thing that Atchison's big connection is Amelia Earhart.
Yes. Yes. We are the hometown of Amelia. She was born here at her grandparents' house.
And so there in Atchison, just talk a little bit about what I got to experience. There are actually two museums that are dedicated to her.
Yes, we have the Amelia Earhart Birthplace Museum, which is on the bluff that overlooks the river, and that was her grandparents' home. And then we also have the Hangar Museum, which just opened a few years ago, and it is very STEM related and wonderful for all the kids to go through, and has the VR and everything in it.
And let's talk a little bit about the Birthplace Museum, because I mean, there I felt like you could really get a sense of where she grew up and how she kind of like developed the ambition that she had later on in life.
Yeah, and you have to come to the museum and, of course, get the full feel for her. But we are truly celebrating a woman with a spirit of adventure with all of her birthplace and the Hangar Museum and our festival. It is about Amelia, obviously, but it's also more about her spirit and how we just in Atchison just live through that spirit of the pioneering and the adventure, and nothing holds us back.
Absolutely. And when you talk about adventure, I mean, one of the biggest aspects of her adventure is you can see the planes that she may have flown in the Hangar Museum there. You actually have a replica of the E-10 that she flew.
Yes, yeah, right in the center of it. So they did such a great job when they put that museum together. So
The one thing that I thought that was so cool about the museum is not only do you learn about Amelia, but you learn about just her dedication to, women learning science and math, and, all things STEM. And that's what that museum does, is it helps to bring in kids and kind of foster them in STEM studies, especially, girls, women for later on.
yes, yeah, and they host like Girls in Aviation Day. So they do a great job with their programming. But yeah, with the STEM involvement out there, it really shows you what all you can do with math and science. So we are very proud of that museum, and we're proud of all of our museums, of course, but that one it really intrigues children. So I have a husband and a daughter. My husband loves museums, my daughter doesn't, but this is one that my daughter would like.
Oh, I think I loved it myself, and I know my daughter would love it the same. But I think that museum, and the birthplace one for that matter, reaches to such a vast audience because she is such an
Yes.
inspirational figure to begin with. But, sticking with Amelia, I mean, much of the town there in Atchison bears her name.
Yes, and we also have our bridge is named after her. And we also have the International Forest of Friendship, which isn't Amelia based, but it's a tip off to aviation and also to astronauts and all of flight. It's through the 99s, which is a group of women pilots. And it has a tree that the seed actually flew to space. So we call it the moon tree.
Oh, that's so cool. And then also something that I saw that was really cool too is there is something called the Amelia Earhart Earthwork. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so out at Warnock Lake, which is also on your way to the International Forest of Friendship, Stan Hurd in 1997 put together an earthwork that is 4,200 square feet of vegetation that makes Amelia space.
Wow, that is amazing. And, also you have, which is one of the bigger events, which is the Amelia Earhart Festival.
Yes, we have to celebrate her birthday every year.
Yeah.
So we have, it's a 2 day festival. Again, the festival committee does an amazing job with that. And on Friday night, they have music on the riverfront. This year we hosted Neil McCoy. And on Saturday, we have a fireworks show that is free, of course, but it was named, I think we got fourth place in USA today.
Wow. That is awesome. I mean, the town, it is so, there was so much to do, and so much of that connection is with Amelia Earhart, obviously, because there is such a deep connection there to her. But other than Amelia Earhart, there is still so much history there in Atchison.
Yes, so we have Amelia, but we also have Lewis and Clark. We are the Atchison and the Atchison, Topeka, and the Santa Fe Railroad. And of course, we also have all of our faith centered. So we have Benedictine College and our Abbey and our Mount St. Scholastica. So we are just rich in history and architecture to go along with it. And we're a hidden gem for sure.
One thing, though, that is really cool is that you guys do have the Sophia Spirituality Center. Just talk a little bit about that.
So that is ran by our sisters that are at the convent of Mount St. Scholastica. It is where they host retreats. And so the building that they are in was actually a library for the women's college. And then when the women's college merged with Benedictine College and became co-ed, it then became the home of Mount St. Scholastic Academy, which was an all-girls Catholic high school, until that merged to be co-ed. And so now it's the Spirituality Center where they host retreats and Bible studies, and meetings, just pretty much anything. And then it also has kneecap in the basement of it.
That's really cool. It's kind of a place to go to kind of get centered, right? Like you said,
Yeah.
faith. Yeah. We talked so much about, all the different things. And one of the things that also is really interesting in looking at Atchison is, we talked about the museums for Amelia Earhart, but there's even more beyond that, too, that people can go and explore.
Yeah, so we also have one of the big things is we have these huge, beautiful homes. And everybody wants to know if you can tour them. Well, most of them are private homes and you can't just tour them, walk in for dinner. But we do have the Eva Cray that is a museum now. And the Eva was built in 1882 and it is now a museum. So you can see that home. And then one of the other ones we have is the Munchnick, which was owned by the man that was in charge of LFM, which was it's now our Bradkin Vulcan. It just got bought out again, but his family donated it to the Atchison Art Association, and they've ran it since 1970 as an art gallery. So not only do you get to see the beautiful home and the architecture of it, but then you can see some wonderful art inside as well.
Wow, that is incredible. And beyond that, too, there's also a deep railroad history there, too, right?
Yes, again, we are the Atchison, Topeka, and the Santa Fe. So we have one of the four last remaining railroad buildings in the state of Kansas. And our railroad building, it's the Santa Fe Depot. It was built in 1880. Yeah.
Wow. That is so
In
cool.
1880, and it's obviously not used for that anymore, but we do have a museum inside of it that is the Atchison Historical Museum. So it also is the home to the smallest presidential library.
That is so neat. And you spoke a little bit about the historical homes and the beauty there. What is the connection between, it seems like that this would be a very affluent area back when, right?
Yes. So because we were a river town, and we became the last stop before people headed west. And so we had a lot of merchants. We had, and then the beginning of the railroad, the Pony Express ran through here. But when the railroad started, that was the biggest thing. But like McIntyre Villa was a horse carriage guy. We had bankers and railroaders. So we had a lot of millionaires, if you will, building all these huge, beautiful homes. So,
and we can see those homes there today. That is amazing. Okay, we're going to take a quick break. We still have so much to get into in Atchison, from outdoors to a really interesting aspect. So you want to stick with Destination Heartland. We'll be back in just a moment. More with Jill. Welcome back to Destination Heartland. I've got with me today Jill Thorne. She's Executive Director of Locally Atchison, which is where we are exploring today. So much in this town. We have just spoken about the history and, museums, so many museums to see. But of course, the biggest connection to Atchison is Amelia Earhart. But beyond the town there, Jill, tell me about outdoor and recreation. There is so much there to offer.
yeah, we have 8 parks, I believe. So at Jackson Park, there are trails and there's disc golf, there are horseshoe, sand volleyball, and we have a great shelter houses, but we also have a playground that is for kids with disabilities as well. And then at Reasoner, we have a skate park. And LFM, they have great basketball courts, and they are getting a splash pad for next summer. And we have hiking trails and biking trails and walking trails. So
That is really cool. And beyond all that, too, people can go there and fish, too, right? Just tell us a little bit about Atchison State Fishing Lake.
the fishing lake was built in 1956 or acquired.
Wow.
So there is fishing and hunting out there. And I don't know all the new rules because they've just changed them. But yes, fishing is a thing.
Fishing is a thing. And also that I saw, one thing that was really cool, too, that you guys had, too, which is a growing sport, is the disc golf course.
Yeah, we have 3 of them actually.
Wow.
We have one at Jackson Park, and we have an 18-hole at Warnock Lake that goes through Warnock and at the very edge of the International Forest of Friendship. And then we have a 9-hole at our high school.
And so then beyond let's just say when you get to winter time, there's also some things to do there just outside of town. There's actually a place where you can do snow sports.
Yes, Snow Creek is right across. It's owned by Vail. It's right across the river. It's about maybe a 7-minute drive. But yeah, they have skiing, snowboarding, and tubing during the winter months, as long as it's not 80 and 70 degrees during our winter.
Oh, well, let's just say it's probably much cheaper than going to actually Vail or someplace in Colorado, too, for
Yeah,
a snow
absolutely.
experience. Yeah.
Yeah.
And here's one thing that I love about Atchison that I learned that I had no idea, which, as we get out of summer and move into fall, you may want to check out Atchison during Halloween time because it has this designation as one of the most haunted towns. Talk to us about that.
Yes, we are one of the most haunted towns in Kansas. We have the Sally House. It's the infamous Sally House. And we have the McIntyre Villa. And we have the Dilgert and the RA Park Home and the Rose Trunk Building that people can tour and investigate.
With these haunted homes, like, have people actually experienced haunted ghosts and that kind of thing?
Yeah, I'll just say I don't go into the Sally House anymore.
Yeah.
It's a very
Oh.
it's a very heavy energy. So I don't go in there anymore. But the Sally House is known worldwide. We just
Hmm.
had some paranormal investigators in from Australia. So um, it is not a hidden gem. It is very well known in the paranormal community, and so is the McIntyre Villa. So we have several homes that you can investigate and tour. And during our haunted season, on top of that, we have our haunted trolley rides,
Hmm.
um, which are very popular, and they give you the whole history of the different places in Atchison, not just our four haunted homes. But we are have Molly's Hollow and the Teacup House.
What is the teacup house?
The story is that they came home and from having dinner or whatever, and the wife said she would really like a cup of tea. And when she got home, the pot was already brewing and had
Oh,
some tea.
oh my gosh. That's a little creepy. One thing I did notice in looking into the haunted aspect of Atchison was that in the Sally House, which we talked about it being, famous for, you can actually, this is not for me, but you can actually stay there too. Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah. You can actually stay there. You can sleep there. Um, Again, I'm not going to go back in.
All right, me neither.
It's for somebody.
It's for somebody who wants to experience the afterlife, we'll say. Yeah. But
Yes. Yeah.
also, these two homes, the Sally House and the McIntyre Villa, they also hold a lot of history there, too, right?
Yeah. So the Sally House was um, built by a Dr. Finney, and he had his practice there. So that's how the story goes that little Miss Sally was a child and a botched surgery. She died in the kitchen.
Ew. And so the.
The McIntyre Villa was built by John McIntyre, and now it's a very beautiful, large estate home, one of our old, mansions, if you will. And he was a carriage. He did horse carriages, and so there's several ghosts that haunt that one.
And so, can you? I know you can stay in the Sally House. Can you stay in the other homes too? Like you talked
You
about
can stay in the
McIntyre.
McIntyre,
Uh huh.
the Dilgert, and the Rose Trunk. You can't stay the night in yet. The Rose Trunk should be coming online for that here shortly, but they run an antique business in the actual store. Um, it was actually a trunk store. It was by,
Oh.
yeah, Mr. Rose. Um, Back in the day, he had big leather trunks and suitcases. That was the business.
And so
That's how.
with all of with this aspect, you does Atchison get tons of visitors coming to during Halloween season to see all this?
Yeah, it's actually a visitor 365 days a year.
Wow.
So, but now during September and October, we have a large influx of people coming. So, but you can experience it both in October or all year long, or the events that we host in the October. We also do a little taste of haunted in June. So we just do a little weekend of everything that we do during the haunted season in June.
Kind of to give everybody a taste of what Haunted Atchison is about. All right, so if let's say if Haunted Atchison is not your thing, there is still a lot of things to do in Atchison, and one of the things that I thought that was really interesting is the agritourism that is available there.
Yes, so we have several different farms that you can go to. So if you want to play with baby goats or do
Oh,
some goat yoga, Providence Hill Farm is your place to go. If you want to play with baby goats or see the baby pigs or make some cheese or candles and have that homestead feel, we have honeydew farms. If you want to pick some of your own fruits, then there's the St. Andre Orchard. And there was Crockett Family Farms across the river over on the Missouri side where they have some things during the fall with pumpkins and mums. And then we have our High Plains Distillery, which um, it's agritourism, but it's vodka.
so you can have let's say you can have agritourism with a nice drink on the side too.
Right.
Yeah, some good spirits.
They don't have baby goats, but they do have ice cream vodka. So
It'll be more for the adult visitors. We'll just put it that way. I think it's so cool that you guys have so much to offer there. I think a big question for people watching this is, what is the best time to visit Atchison?
There is never any bad time to come to Atchison. Like you said, we have so much, and we have so much for everybody. Like, if haunted's not your thing, that's fine. If Amelia's your thing, that's fine, right? There's other things. We have things for kids. We have a great arcade downtown. You can send them out to International Forest of Friendship, and they can run around through the 400 trees or whatever.
Wow.
So there's always something for somebody.
And I know you said if haunted isn't your thing, though it's not my thing. However, it does intrigue me. Like I think I would like to go visit for Halloween sometime and just to check it out. I don't know about the Sally House. We'll just put that on the side, right?
Yeah.
If somebody were to kind of plan a trip to Atchison, what should they plan for? Is it just a day trip, or is there more, than a day? To me, it seems like there's so much to do there.
I would give yourself probably 2 to 3 days if you wanted to hit every single thing. If you wanted to hit all of our museums and our parks, and so yeah, if you want, you can call me and I'll get you an itinerary.
Jill's your person for sure. And
Yes.
also, when you go to Atchison, say you want to plan a multi-day trip, what are some of the better places to stay there in town?
So we have our Holiday Inn is right in the heart of our downtown. If you're coming for an event that's at the event center, then the Quality Inn is right down the hill from that. But we also have some great Airbnbs. So we have one that overlooks the river. It's gorgeous. And then we have one that's right in downtown. It's on the second floor of a shop. So it's actually in the Rose Trunk building. The
Oh, wow.
upstairs is an Airbnb. So you could kind of get both. You could stay and get a little paranormal all in one.
The best of both worlds, literally. And then just, you talked a little bit about, staying in town, and also there's some campgrounds too there that people could, if the hotel isn't their thing, right?
Yeah. So out at Warnock Lake, we actually have camping, and then we also have an RV park out there. It's all first come, first serve.
Lots of great places to stay, see, eat, do. The list goes on forever. Jill, I really want to thank you for speaking with us today. Is there anything else that you want people to know out there?
No, just when you get to town, come to our visitor center and we will hook you up with all the information you'll need.
That's the best place to go for information. All right, thank you.
And it's also in the depot, so you can go be right at the museum too.
Two birds with one stone. All right,
Yes.
Thank you so much for joining me today, Jill.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you. And that does it for Destination Heartland. We want to thank you for joining us today. And remember, a new episode drops every Tuesday, and you can find it on KCTV5 Plus. So until our next episode, I'm Sharon Chen with KCTV5 News.